plastic bag, drifting through the wind, wanting to start again. Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's...
Hey, what's up guys? Topher here, bringing you another high-level Halo Wars commentary today. We're going to be playing on Beasley's Plateau against Sam the Bold and Hazardfury, and they'll be running Cutter Brute, and I will be with BH on 2 Legit, and we'll be running Cutter Arby in this first game of 2. So, I know I've posted this matchup a couple of times already, but most of the time you've seen Threatening the Cheese on this map, so since we're in a diagonal spawn for the Cubbies, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. They do have leader advantage, but this is an ideal spawn layout for us because the Brute does have to walk all the way across the map to hit my base. So I should have pretty much all the buildings on my base by the time it gets here, instead of like a Temple first Brute rush right to my base, denying like my 4th pad or 5th pad or something like that. So I'm just going to be going Temple second, and I'm going to end up clearing a hook. I'm probably going to try to go down and catch Sam's Hogs or something. And 2 Legit is probably going to end up clearing my hook because the Brute, he's probably just going to assume the Brute's going to throw a Brute into his hook, and it'd be kind of pointless to clear that hook if the Brute's just going to throw a Brute in it and get it anyways. So I don't have too many videos stacked up because I did have like a little glitch with my cap card that pretty much made me lose a bunch of the videos I had saved up. I pretty much saved like if when I'm recording after a session, I just pretty much delete everything that isn't anywhere near upload worthy, I guess. But I had a glitch with my capture card, so I don't have very many videos to post anymore. And not only that, but I haven't really been playing recently. Those of you that don't know, I don't know. There's just really no one searching anymore, so I just haven't been playing this game. And Legit and I have been playing Halo 3 recently, getting 50s. He already got his 50 in Halo 3. We're just playing Team Slayer. I have like a 41 or 40 or something. But yeah, that game's just more entertaining right now, as sad as it is. And I don't know. It's just there's nothing. There's just no one that searches anymore that's worth it. Hazard. I know Hazard and Sam are still on that 2v2 grind though, because Sam the Bull in his bio claims that they're the best 2v2 active team searching or something. Which I don't know. That's kind of funny, I guess. But yeah. But they're really the only team searching, so it's not that hard to hold that title. But when other teams get on, I think that title quite isn't there anymore. But yeah, I missed a hog earlier trying to catch his hogs, but I did catch that hog right there. I'm going to end up going down to their hook and see that the hook is already cleared. I'm going to end up just slapping the pad a little bit and just tell 2 Legit to buy my hook. The Hazard's Brute ended up going to my hook, which 2 Legit cleared, so he's going to drop a Brute in there. We're going to end up losing that hook eventually. But I did end up getting to rage their hook, and 2 Legit did clear out his own hook, and I bought the turret on the hook I cleared. So we're up. We have 3 hooks right now, and they have 1. We're going to end up losing our hook, but that'll just make it 2 hooks to 2, which is perfectly fine. So our goal this game is pretty much to just sit on this Brute space as long as we can. Hazard did rush Citadel a little bit and go for a Summit 6 in a front turret. So we're going to end up just killing the front turret and trying to drop the Summit as quickly as we can. I do have a turret that's up, and I'm building a second one. I'm building a Grunt because I want to drop this Summit as quick as I can. Unfortunately, my turret is shooting the Brute instead of the Brute squad. But my front turret does get up, and Sam's Hogs are going to have to leave. And yeah, I do have so I have 2 turrets right now. The back one's about to die. But I am going to try to get this Grunt through. Sam is going to notice. He's going to come with a hog and try to ram it out and get to about half of it killed. But it's going to be at the cost of some health on a hog. And for some reason, Hazard's base is still locked, even though he has a Banshee or 2 that he can unlock through. I don't really get that one, but yeah. So he does unlock now a couple of Brutes and a Banshee or 2. A Brute and 2 Banshees. And we're just going to end up killing the Brute squad, and I tried to rage the Banshees. We did end up buying that turret too, so now right now we have 6 of the 8 hooks, but we're about to lose the one that 2 Legit just flared. So we are going to be up have 5 hooks ultimately, and they're going to have 3 after that brute squad kills that hook. But I am forced to recall now. I wasn't really doing anything on offense, and I need to start getting this base damage off of my base. So I'm just going to raise the brute squad first, and then my second priority is going for the warthogs. So I'm just going to run to the back and try to cut them off, and I do that. Oh, I missed the second hit on that hog, so I'm pretty much a beast at this game. And now there's 2 banshees on me. I'm gonna end up trying to probably build a turret. I did end up buying a summit on their hook, so I could build a couple of banshees and try to help with some DPS on offense or hitting that hook or something. I should be trying to raise down those 2 banshees right now because they're the ones doing the main DPS on me. But for some reason, I'm slapping the brute, so that's a poor decision in the middle of the game by me. But I guess I just opted to try to let that turret finish and kill the banshees, and I'll just chase the brute around in circles for no reason at all. So yeah, that's pretty bad, but it's not too bad. He's gonna kill that heavy pad with the 2 banshees, but he shouldn't really be able to do much more with it. And now this turret is gonna get up. He noticed the turret too late, and I am finally gonna go rage the banshees. And yeah, they're just gonna drop pretty instantly. And now I have pretty much a fully built base. The pad is still alive, which is pretty nice because it's a heavy pad. And now I'm pumping out a couple of banshees to try to fight off these hogs with this turret down here. And 2 Legit's probably in the process of building a tank right now. And the brute's still on my base, and like I said earlier, we're still up 5. We have 5 of the 8 hooks still, 5 of the 8 pads on the hook still, so that's pretty good for us. Hazard's poured in another 2 brutes. For those of you that haven't played Hazard, pretty much all he does is take his cheat in and build brutes most games. And he gets inheritance and recalls because he's like obsessed with going for birthright pretty much every game. So I'm just going to try to build a summon initially, but instead I'm going to decide that if 2 Legit's going to be trying to sit on Hazard's base as long as he can and try to deny summits as long as he possibly can, that I can probably just go all RB this game because I don't really have the eco to be building banshees quite yet to be double pumping them. So it's going to be better for me right now to just go all RB even though I have no tech because every tank I kill is going to give Legit a tank lead. And tank leads are pretty good on this map, or any map for that matter. Especially if you can deny them from banshees and you have an Arbiter and tanks versus tanks, obviously the Arbiter and tanks are going to win. So I catch this tank right here, and I have more than enough money to kill it. Since he has just 1 tank here, it's not really going to do much to my Arbiter. And now I'm going to run down to that hook. I see something, and I think there's like a Warthog or something here just shooting something. So I'm going to go down and get that real quick. I still have a Banshee alive, but I had to pull it back because of this Warthog. And now Sam is trying to get his hook back with a tank. So what I'm going to do is put this Banshee on this pad at the hook. And I'm going to rage run all the way back to the other hook and try to rage down that tank. So my eco is pretty poor still. But I am going all RB, so it really doesn't matter how many heavies I have for the most part. And I have more than enough money to kill a tank or 2, which is all that I really need, considering Legit's able to just sit on Hazard's base as long as he can. And as long as they're not getting air, it really doesn't matter what my eco is, as long as I have money to rage the tanks that are trying to get hooks back. So with the help of this turret, I'm going to end up being able to finish off this tank. So that's 2 tanks down already. That Sam has lost, and that's not very good for him. And this Banshee's starting to do some work on that supply pad, and it's going to end up being able to probably kill that pad if they can't send anything over there in time. So since Legit has 2 hooks and pads on his hook, and I only have a summit on the other one, I'm just going to end up taking this pad, and I'm just going to wait for a heal. And during this time, I'm just going to get my maybe upgrade a pad or something and try to tech my RB. Yeah. So I'm just waiting for a heal right now. And yeah, nothing going on too much. 2 Legit's flaring that they still have our hook, but we can't really do anything about it because it has a brute squad in it, and we'd rather keep the pressure on Hazard's base rather than going all the way back and clearing that hook. So I see 2 tanks did sneak by, and I am getting Defiant over Fiendish. When you have to kill multiple stock tanks and you have to make a choice of Fiendish or the health rage at this point in the game, I prefer the health upgrade. I used to prefer Fiendish almost every time, but then I saw limits with like in limits' videos. He would always like get the health upgrade first, and I noticed it worked out pretty well. So this is a while ago I started doing this. I kind of copied him a little bit, I guess. So yeah, when you only have a couple of stock tanks to kill, it's better to just get Defiant rather than Fiendish, so you can get your health back because you're not going to die to a couple stock tanks. But ultimately, Sam drops the epic one tank D bomb, one stock tank D bomb. We have a bunch of tanks on his base to get me off, and here's another tank, so I DQ my heavy pad, and I start weakening this tank. And yeah, I'm gonna be able to pretty much kill this tank, and Legit's gonna be able to finish it off real quick. So pretty much my all RB pretty much worked out pretty well this game. They did have a summon on our hook in the end, but it was too little, too late. So Sam and Hazard end up just resigning, and that was a good game. So now let's go on to game 2. We're on the docks. So last game we did have a leader disadvantage, and because they had Bird and we had RB. But on docks we actually have leader advantage. Um, so yeah, we just have leader advantage in this one. But I'm gonna plan on going Temple third against the Brute. I'm just gonna send my Ghost straight to their side. It's good to send your Ghost straight to their side, especially on docks. I don't do it. This is pretty much the only map I really do it on. But on docks, you get to not only see where the Brute is templing, and here I know that the Brute is going Temple second, so I'd be free to go Temple fourth if I really wanted to, but sometimes I prefer to go Temple third anyways, just because if you can go Temple third and pick up a crate, it's pretty much just as good as Temple fourth with no crate. By crate, I mean picking up a crate with your leader when it gets out of your base. Temple fourth can be slightly better though, but Temple third is a little bit safer. So I went with the safe strat on this one. So what I'm going to do after I scatter that Brute's base, I'm going to be able to just pick up a crate right here and just micro my Ghost around so I don't get rammed, hopefully. And something funny about my Ghost is I always lose my Ghost. I don't need my Ghost. I lose it pretty much every game really early on. It's kind of ridiculous. But ultimately, it's good to keep your Ghost as long as you can because it's helpful to scout and pick up a bunch of crates on the map and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to keep running from these Warthogs and trying to look for crates while scouting as many bases as we can. So 2 Legit is getting the middle pretty cleanly here, which is nice for him. And I'm just going to upgrade my first 2 pads. A mistake a lot of players make is getting Fiendish with this money when they go Temple third. There's really no need for Fiendish, as I've said many times. Do not get Fiendish when you're on defense. There is absolutely no point of having Fiendish, because all you're really doing with your RB is killing the Brutes. And after you kill the Brutes, you're pretty much just waiting for your UNSC to help you finish off the rest. The rest of to kill the actual chieftain, whether it be with a tank or with Warthogs or Warthogs and Suicide Grunts. But you do not need Fiendish when you're on defense against a Brute chieftain. Hopefully people start actually doing this and playing it correctly. But all you need is to upgrade a bunch of pads on defense instead of getting Fiendish. You can get Fiendish when you go on offense, because you can keep down pads, but do not get Fiendish when you're on defense for the last time. So yeah, Hazard did something a little interesting here. He threw 2 Brutes inside the garrisons, and trying to basically what his plan is throw the Brutes in the garrison and walk to my base and start porting in Brutes. So I had to make a decision. I had to either sit at my base and kill his Brutes and let Legit take damage on his supply pads, because if we go Hogs, it's pretty much a completely useless strat. But since we're not going Hogs, we're going quick tanks into candy down tech. That can actually be good if we don't get a cat. If I'm stuck back here raging these, and then he unlocks his if we don't have any Hogs to ram, and he unlocks a bunch of Brutes here, and then takes his Brutes out of the garrisons down there, then he's just gonna have a lot of base damage at both bases. But since I was able to kill one of the Brute squads that he hopped out pretty early on, and then run back and kill the Brute squads on my base, he really hasn't done any damage. And now since we still have 2 Warthogs down at his base, he just took his Brute out because he wants to do base damage with it because it doesn't do damage when it's sitting in that garrison. I'm going to send my Ghost to shoot it, and we have 2 Hogs to ram it, and that was pretty much a complete waste of 2 Brute squads. So yeah, that was really good for us that we were able to kill both those Brute squads without taking any damage at all. And we do have tanks building. I am getting pretty antsy to lead this Brute now because, like I said, you basically want your UNSC to help you push off the Chieftain. Your RB is not the main source of pushing off the Chieftain. The point of your RB is to push off the Brute squads. So before going offense, I'm going to kill this one last brute squad, and then I'm just going to legit tank is probably halfway out or something. So I'm just gonna start heading up on offense. There's no immediate need to like really rage run on offense. I just need to save up my money. That brute squad just poured out. They just poured out, but the tank is already out. So as you can see, I don't need to be back there for it. The tank can the tank can clean it up on its own. So I'm walking on offense, taking my time. I should be upgrading that. I'm upgrading this pad right here. Because I'm just trying to set myself up into a good eco, maybe to rage a tank or something, and maybe to go summit, maybe to go single summit or double summit, depending on how the game's going. So unfortunately, that pad did get denied, but I get to go up on offense finally. So legit is pushing his second. He has one tank on defense hitting the brute, and he has one tank pushing on offense to go to the brute's main base. He did just get inheritance, which is really annoying because it takes like 5 more years to kill inheritance chieftain compared to a non-inheritance chieftain. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna send a tank and my RB up on offense, but then I see a tank right here, and I'm just gonna rage it. I only have $250. Um, but I can scare this tank off, and I should be able to kill it eventually. But as you're going to see right here, Sam's going to once again drop the epic one tank D-bomb. Um, in my opinion, it's really not even worth dropping a D-bomb unless you have 3 tanks. Because if you have 2 tanks, you just split them both directions, and you ultimately get a save 1. And if you D-bomb 1 tank, then what's the point really? You just like it's just better to. There's really no point of D-bombing before 3 tanks, and even sometimes you don't even have to D-bomb with 3 tanks. But anything before 3 tanks is kind of a useless D-bomb, in my opinion. And Sam the Bull decided he wanted to drop that D-bomb, and I was more than okay with that, and especially because I didn't even have the money to finish off raging that tank immediately. But I'm going to DQ that heavy pad and just try to go hero mode on these tanks. I'm pretty much doing the strat where you go no RB, you get no RB tech, and you're pretty much just sacking your RB into getting a tank lead, and then you go double summit Banshees, which is super annoying for the other team's UNSC. So I didn't get to end up killing that tank. That kind of is unfortunate. But Too Legit's been with this tank has been keeping them off getting summits up, and he should be able to finish off that red bar pad right there. He is still working on defense to push off that inheritance chieftain. He hasn't gotten stunned by it, which is a very big key. And he does have candy now, so he should be able to just candy that pad down. And Sam the Bold is still not on candy. So I'm just going to be not paying attention to the game. I think I was talking to my parents or something. So I'm not moving at all. But there's nothing too big happening right now, so it doesn't really matter. But since Too Legit did keep the brute off Banshees for so long, and I was able to kill like 2 tanks and make one red bar or something, we do have a solid tank lead right now, and we do have a tech lead on them because we have candy and they don't. So I'm back now. I'm upgrading this pad. If I was doing this correctly, I would prevent the eco glitch by downing that red bar pad for my second summit before the upgrade on my supply pad finishes, but I wasn't paying attention enough, I guess, this game. And I ended up getting eco glitch, so that kind of sucks. If the game goes really long, then that eco glitch is really going to hurt me. But if we can finish this game off in the next couple of minutes, it's really not going to be too bad. There's just well, I was gonna the video that shows the eco glitch was on Esper Mitch's channel, and now obviously he privated all of his videos, so I can't link you to that. But yeah, there's an eco glitch if you if you sell a supply pad and don't have one upgrading or another one building. But yeah, it is what it is. But I am on double summit, almost on double summit now. I have boost. Sam did drop a fail Mac Blast, and Too Legit was able to kind of go bully him and drop a couple of supply pads and drop a depot. He might actually drop both depots. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think he actually dropped both depots, so that's really good. So now we have a massive tank lead, and we still have a tech lead because they're still on stock, and we have like 2 or 3 times their tank numbers, and we have canny. So they do have a couple of Banshees, but I have a couple of Banshees. They did end up healing their chieftain, so that's just annoying. He's going to vortex tanks down. But I have 4 Banshees on the field now, and I'm just going to be able to fight their Banshees, pick off their Banshees with mine since I have a couple more. And I'll be able to start helping with the tank fight and all that good stuff. And we're going to be able to just stay up on offense pretty much this whole entire time, and they're not going to be able to really push it off. So this one's going to be coming to an end. We're going to end up pulling out the W. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to post my next video because I start college next week, but I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.